There is a sound in the ocean so loud that it can vibrate a human body to death. It is not an explosion. It is not an earthquake. It is a click produced by a biological machine. If you were swimming in the open water and heard this sound, it would already be too late to hide. In fact, for millions of years, the ocean's deadliest predators have learned a very specific survival rule. When you hear the rhythm of this specific click, you go silent. You stop moving, you stop breathing. You pray that the thing making that sound isn't looking for you. We are often told that the ocean is a place of mystery, ruled by the unknown, but that isn't entirely true. The deep ocean is ruled by a king, and while the blue whale might be the largest animal to ever exist, it is a gentle giant, a grazer. The creature we are talking about today is not gentle. It is the largest active predator on Earth. It dives deeper than nuclear submarines, it hunts monsters that humans have only seen in nightmares, and it possesses a weapon so powerful that it can stun its prey without ever touching them. This is the sperm whale, and there is a reason why, when it arrives, the rest of the ocean goes quiet. Before we dive into the abyss, look down. If that subscribe button is still red, click it right now. We explore the Earth's darkest secrets every day, and you don't want the algorithm to hide the next discovery from you. To understand why this animal is so terrifying, we have to strip away a common misconception. We tend to look at whales as slow, peaceful monoliths drifting through the currents. And for filter feeders like the blue or humpback whale, that is mostly true. They are massive, but they are passive. The sperm whale is different. It is built for violence. A fully grown male can reach 60 feet in length and weigh over 50 tons. To put that into perspective, that is heavier than a Boeing 737. But unlike an airplane or a drifting barge, this 50-ton Leviathan is an active, tactical hunter. It doesn't filter plankton, it chases down apex predators. It is capable of swimming at 20 miles per hour when it decides to attack. Imagine the kinetic energy of a falling building, but one that can steer, think, and target you. And the thinking part is the most dangerous variable here. Brawn is common in the ocean. Sharks have brawn. Orcas have brawn. But the sperm whale possesses the largest brain of any animal in the history of the planet. It is 5 times larger than a human brain. We still don't know exactly what they use all that processing power for, but we know they aren't just swimming aimlessly. They are calculating. They have memory, complex language, and strategic planning that rivals our own. They are the smartest killer in the water. But being big and smart isn't enough if you want to rule the ocean. You have to be able to go where no one else can follow. Most marine predators are stuck in the top layer of the ocean, the photic zone, where the sun still reaches. The sperm whale, however, has evolved to leave the light behind. It is a mammal that breathes air, yet it spends its life hunting in places where air does not exist. They regularly dive to depths of 3,000 feet, and in extreme cases, they have been recorded plunging nearly 10,000 feet down. At that depth, the environment is fundamentally hostile to life as we know it. The pressure is crushing, literally. It is over 3,000 pounds per square inch. If a human or even a different type of whale tried to dive that deep, their lungs would implode and their chest cavity would be crushed inward. So the sperm whale had to evolve a way to cheat physics. To survive the descent, they allow their bodies to break. Their rib cages are flexible, designed to collapse and fold flat under the pressure. Instead of fighting the weight of the ocean, they submit to it. They let their lungs deflate entirely to prevent them from rupturing. But this creates a new problem. If your lungs are collapsed, where do you keep your oxygen? You can't hold your breath for 90 minutes with empty lungs, unless you aren't storing the oxygen in your lungs at all. The sperm whale stores oxygen directly in its blood and muscles. Their bodies are saturated with a protein called myoglobin, which binds to oxygen with an incredible grip. Before a deep dive, they hyperventilate at the surface, supercharging their blood, effectively turning their entire body into a scuba tank. Once they dive, they shut down. They stop digestion, they restrict blood flow to non-essential organs, and their heart rate drops to a crawl. They become a biological submarine, running on battery power, gliding silently into the abyss. Once they pass the twilight zone, sunlight disappears completely. Down here, at 3,000 feet, it is pitch black. You cannot see your hand in front of your face. For almost any other predator, this blindness would be a death sentence. You cannot hunt what you cannot see. But the sperm whale doesn't need eyes. It has something far more powerful. If you look at the skeleton of a sperm whale, you'll notice the skull is shaped like a giant amphitheater chair. This massive basin holds the spermaceti organ, a colossal tank filled with thousands of gallons of specialized oil. For centuries, whalers thought this oil was sperm, which is how the whale got its name, but its actual function is much more sophisticated. It is a lens, but not for light, for sound. The sperm whale uses this organ to generate the most intense biological sound on Earth. When it hunts, it sends out a series of clicks. These aren't just noises, they are focused beams of acoustic energy. At 230 decibels, these clicks are louder than a jet engine at takeoff. In the water, sound travels 4 times faster than in air. The whale fires a pulse of sound, it hits an object in the dark, and the echo bounces back. The oil in their head focuses that echo, sending it to their brain, creating a high-definition, 3-dimensional avatar of the world around them. They can see through the dark, they can see through camouflage. In fact, their sonar is so powerful they can likely see inside of you, differentiating between flesh, bone, and fluid. There is nowhere to hide. If you are in the water with a sperm whale, it knows exactly where you are, how fast you are moving, and what your heart rate is. So what does a 50-ton, super-intelligent, biosonar-equipped Leviathan hunt? It doesn't waste its time on small fish. It goes after the monsters. The sperm whale is the only predator on Earth that routinely hunts the giant squid and the colossal squid. For human history, the giant squid was a myth, the kraken that dragged ships to their doom. We now know they are real. They grow to the size of a school bus, they possess razor-sharp beaks, and their tentacles are lined with serrated suction cups and rotating hooks. In the deep ocean, a battle between a sperm whale and a giant squid is a clash of titans. The squid is not helpless. It fights for its life in the dark, wrapping its tentacles around the whale's head, slashing with its hooks, trying to drown or suffocate the mammal. But here's the brutal truth. The squid almost never wins. We know this because of the scars. Almost every adult sperm whale is covered in long, raking scratches and circular sucker marks. They wear these scars like armor. But more importantly, we know who wins because of what we find inside the whales. Whalers and scientists have found thousands of squid beaks in the stomachs of sperm whales. Since the beaks are hard and indigestible, they pile up in the whale's gut like trophies. Some whales have been found with over 18,000 beaks in their stomachs at one time. This isn't a rivalry, it's a harvest. The sperm whale dives into the nightmare zone, fights the kraken, eats it, and then goes back for seconds. However, the dominance of the sperm whale isn't just about individual strength, it's about family. In the ocean, there is only one other predator that dares to challenge a whale, the orca. Killer whales are the wolves of the sea, and they are famous for taking down anything they want. But even orcas hesitate when they see a pod of sperm whales. This is because sperm whales have a defensive strategy that is practically impenetrable. It's called the Marguerite Formation. When a pod is threatened, the females drive the calves into the center. Then the adults surround them, forming a perfect circle. But they don't face outward. They face inward, creating a star shape with their tails pointing out toward the attackers. This is a wall of muscle. A sperm whale's tail is powerful enough to crush a boat. By pointing their tails outward, they present a barrier of lethal force. Any orca foolish enough to get close risks being bludgeoned to death by a single strike. They communicate constantly during this defense, coordinating their movements, reinforcing weak points in the circle. They protect their own with a loyalty that rivals humans. Against this formation, even the killer whale usually decides it's not worth the risk. This combination of size, intelligence, weaponry, and social bond has created a creature that has no true natural predator. They have ruled the deep for millions of years. Their dominance is so absolute that it has shaped the evolution of other species. This is the concept of the acoustic shadow. Biologists have observed that when sperm whales enter an area and start clicking, other deep-sea predators, beaked whales, pilot whales, even dolphins, go silent. They stop hunting. They stop talking. They drift silently, trying to become invisible. It is a fear that has been burned into their DNA over eons. The ocean knows that when the clicking starts, the king is hunting. Sperm whales have turned the most hostile environment on Earth, the crushing, freezing, pitch-black abyss, into their personal pantry. They are the masters of the deep, the conquerors of the kraken, and the loudest living things on the planet. The ocean is full of monsters, but it turns out the scariest one isn't the one with the tentacles, it's the one that eats them. If you want to dive deeper into the mysteries of the ocean and the creatures that rule it, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We are just scratching the surface of what lies beneath. Thanks for watching.